And you know what? Because it's Thanksgiving, because I'm feeling really thankful for the audience and just really happy in this moment, I'm going to do something that I haven't done. I'm going to be gone next week. My family is traveling out of the country. We are headed off to Europe for a Thanksgiving holiday in Paris, France. We enjoy going there. This is like the third time we've gone in the last 4 years. We love going. And I actually love Thanksgiving. I'm a huge Thanksgiving fan. I'm a day one fan of Thanksgiving. But my daughter's in school. This is the time we have off. And we're like, you know what? Why don't we go to Europe over shoulder season? We love it over there. It's such a great time. We can just rest and recharge the batteries. So I'm thankful for that. But I'm thankful for you. And what I'm going to do, because I'll be gone next week, I want to give you my top 5 picks for Week 14 action. So I'm going to look ahead just 1 week and give you 5 picks that I think will win straight up next week for Week 14. So out of the ACC, I'm taking NC State over UNC. This is the 114th meeting between these two rivals, and they played every season since 1953, if you can believe it or not. My daddy wasn't even born yet. Damn. Through the last 4 seasons, NC State is 4-0 over UNC. I think they win big at home against Bill Belichick in Week 14 to hopefully secure bowl eligibility if they haven't already done that in Week 13. I think they take the moment against UNC in Week 14 to get to bowl eligibility. So I'm taking NC State over UNC. It's going to be ugly. Then out of the Big Ten, I'm taking USC over UCLA. USC has had a respectable season this year. And at the time I'm recording this podcast, they've got 8 wins heading into an epic matchup against Oregon this weekend. I do think that they drop that game against the Ducks up in Eugene this weekend, but I think they can get to 9 wins easily by beating UCLA, who hasn't had many bright spots this season, outside of upsetting Penn State at the Rose Bowl earlier this season. So even though UCLA has beaten USC in the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum these last 2 trips, I do think that USC gets right and beats the Bruins next weekend at home. So I'm taking USC over UCLA. Then out of the Big Ten, we got Ohio State and Michigan. Even though Michigan has beaten Ohio State each of the last 4 years, I think Ohio State exacts revenge over the Wolverines next weekend to remain undefeated. I want Michigan to win, so let's be clear on that. I would love to see Michigan beat Ohio State, but I don't think Ohio State slips up this season. They'll remain undefeated until they get to the playoffs, so I'm taking Ohio State over Michigan in a close one. Out of the Big 12, Utah over Kansas. Utah wins big over KU. There, I said it. Utah wins big. And then out of the SEC, we got A&M over Texas. Now that these two teams are in the SEC, that they're rivals again, this is A&M's first trip to Austin since 2010. These two teams do not like each other, and it's a real rivalry in every sense of the word. I wish I could be in Texas and Austin next weekend to watch this game up close. There's a lot on the line for A&M, and at the time that I'm recording this podcast, head coach Mike Elko has his Aggies rolling with an undefeated record so far this season. Texas will be waiting for this game to hopefully knock off little brother A&M and ruin their perfect season. I don't see it coming, though. I don't think Texas is as good or as deserving of some of the credit in the ranking that they've got right now. I think A&M is the more complete team. They are a dangerous team. I think they're hungry, and I don't think they slip up. So I don't think that Texas will ruin the perfect season. I do think A&M will beat the Longhorns and exact revenge over the 7-17 loss from a season ago against the Texas Longhorns. So I'm taking A&M to win big over Texas in Week 14 action. So those are my picks for Week 14. Let me run those down for you one more time. Out of the ACC, I'm taking NC State over UNC. Out of the Big Ten, I'm taking USC over UCLA. Out of the Big Ten, I'm taking Ohio State over Michigan. Out of the Big 12, I'm taking Utah over Kansas. And out of the SEC, I'm taking A&M over Texas. So there we have it, my friends. Those were my picks for Week 14 action, or Week 13 action and Week 14 action. So jam-packed everything into a small little podcast. Before I get out of here, though, I do want to talk about an experience I had last week at the Squid Game, the challenge watch party in Philly. I don't really have anyone else to share this with because I don't think anybody else really cares. but I love the Squid Game on Netflix, the reality show. So I've seen the actual TV, the Korean show on Netflix, but I actually like the reality show so much better because I love challenges. I grew up on MTV's The Challenge back when it was like Road Rules versus Real World Challenge. Loved it. And I watch it ever since. I kind of fell off. I'm not going to lie. I fell off the last few seasons just because I'm busy. Don't have the time to dedicate to it. But there's something about the Squid Game, the challenge, that I find so fascinating. And I think it's because a lot of these folks are eager, are excited to be competing. A lot of them probably have aspirations to be stars and social media icons. You can't say that that's not happening because there's clearly, if you watch season 2, there seems to be folks that are already content creators or folks that look like models or actors. And so a lot of that experience from what I'm seeing on TV reminds me of how it is to be a background actor. So I'm in SAG and I've done a lot of background work on some local productions here in Philadelphia. And a lot of the interactions that I see on the Squid Game, the challenge, remind me of how folks act on a TV set or on a film set even. And so I feel a lot of the happy memories of folks just coming together. These are complete strangers. They're bonded by the fact that they're doing something together that's kind of cool, that not a lot of people want to do. You know, when it comes to background acting, I think a lot of people think it's exciting, think it's kind of interesting. But when you actually sit down and are working on set for over 8, 10, 12 hours a day, the allure of it and all the, the romantic feelings you have about the experience and about being an actor kind of fade away. Because it's kind of grueling work. And you're just an actor. But like for the folks that are actually in the crew, they're actually doing hard manual labor. I mean, everyone treats it like a job because it is a job. It's fun for me because I love the process of it. I love the experience of being on set and creating something together that you can one day, a year from now, look back and be like, oh, I was on the set that day. You can't really see me. I'm like a speck in this crowded basketball scene. But I remember the vibes. I remember interacting with the other background actors, other actors. I don't want to say background because that's kind of, that's probably a bad term. As an actor, like the other actors on set, you kind of bond with them. You remember what you ate for lunch. You remember just standing on your feet all day, being exhausted. You remember the conversations you had. You remember maybe meeting the top actors on set, like meeting an Adam Sandler or meeting a Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. Like you remember all the details that made that movie, like what that little piece you had that maybe is not seen. You enjoy seeing the scene you shot together in a crowd with hundreds of other people. You know what I mean? Like it's stuff like that that makes me feel so happy when I watch the Squid Game, the challenge, because they're all bonded in this experience that not a lot of people have the chance to do. Only 456 players get to play the Squid Game each season, and they're eliminated in dramatic fashion. I find it hilarious. It's a comedy to me. Everyone has something that they are playing for, somebody that they're playing for. Maybe they've got a family at home, somebody's sick. That is beautiful. That's, they're being honest with us, with themselves. Like they need a chance to change their lives. Everybody does. And I'm not trying to take that away from anybody that does the show. But when I was at the party, everyone was friendly. And I'm talking to these reality stars. I talked to the winner of Squid Game 1. I never thought I would ever be in the same room with her. And some of the other stars that I enjoy watching from Squid Game, the season 1 and Squid Game 2, like I'm cutting it up with these people. And we were at the Fringe Arts out here in Philly off of Columbus Boulevard. Beautiful location right underneath the Ben Franklin Bridge. Beautiful spot. It was a great time. There was probably hundreds of people in that building. And maybe 3 of us were just regular fans. I don't think I saw many people that weren't attached to the program in some way or attached to Big Brother or attached to Survivor. They were all, for the most part, reality stars. At least 95% of them were reality stars. And I have never been in a room with reality stars before. So I wasn't sure what to expect. I didn't actually think it would be majority reality stars. But these folks came together from all across the world. Some people came from like Australia, people from all across the different states, all came together to have a great event. We watched the second set of episodes, like so 4 were released last week. We watched those together as a group, had a great time. We were in like this auditorium. We saw it on a large projector screen. We had a blast. I was sitting next to, I think his number was 408 from season 2. I think his name was Alex. Saw him get eliminated in an event. Like, it was crazy to be immersed in that world for a few hours. And I've always wanted to do the show, not because I need the money per se. Like, certainly $4.56 million is life-changing. It would alter my family's life for generations, certainly, if you manage it right and whatnot. But, like, I just like to compete. I like to do things. I like that component of the show. But more and more I read about some of the psychological effects and how it can be negative and harmful for people that do reality shows. It's like really troubling to me. And like, I'm really troubled by it. I've been dreaming about the Squid Game and being on it these last few nights because I find it fascinating that everybody that I talked to at the Squid Game event, everybody was nice. Everybody enjoyed talking to me. But the vibe of the room, it felt like these people had endured something kind of traumatic. They had this experience that, not a lot of other people can say that they will ever do, but it felt like the stress of what they went through, like the weight of it, like they were there physically, but it just felt off to me. Something felt really weird, and it's hard for me to describe it in words. But they were so gracious with their time. Like, everybody was just so excited for me to come up to them and talk to them. And I was really surprised by that. Like, I talked to Mai maybe for like 7-10 minutes. Like, I thought it would be more like, hey, Mai, I enjoyed you on the Squid Game 1. Can I take a picture with you? But we actually had like a genuine conversation. I met her husband. Like, she was really engaged with me in a way that felt unnatural. Like, it didn't feel believable that this person who has done something incredible, has had this amazing experience, has probably done these events all the time, was genuinely interested in me. So we talked for a while, and the same went for other players this season. Like, I talked to Mark from this season at Player 100, talked to him, had a good conversation with him, and so on and so forth. Like, these people it's hard to describe. Like, it just didn't feel like a normal interaction. It felt like these people were bonded in something that was really stressful, maybe traumatic, and they were just kind of coming together, and it was a chance for them to have fellowship with other Squiddies. And I have no idea what that experience was like. I've been reading more and more about like the psychological effects of reality show and the things that producers strive to do before and after something airs and the camera stopped rolling. Like, it can be really traumatic, the effect that reality shows have on people. I mean, we're all watching these shows, we're all rooting for people, or maybe a player gets a bad edit and we're like, oh, this guy's a jerk, this guy's an idiot. I mean, some people were getting death threats for how things went down in the game. Like, it's crazy how attached we are to celebrities and reality stars, and they don't deserve all of that negative attention. You know what I mean? Like, I'm excited, and the possibility of being on that show, because I have applied. If you're listening, Squid Game producers, I have applied, but I'm thinking more carefully about like the long-term effects that it could have on my family's life, on me, and I'm just not sure if it's worth it. You know what I mean? For like 5 seconds of fame, I don't know if it's worth the price to give up my mental health, my overall well-being, and just relationships with people and how I view people and view life. I mean, some of the players are saying they had pretty bad nightmares when they returned from home. They had to speak to like counselors and stuff like that for a while. I mean, I don't know if that's worth it to me. You know what I mean? Like, the day-to-day life can be hard and grueling, and it can be unfair at times, but I don't know that I would want to put myself out on the line like that to have to deal with nightmares and some of these stressful moments, and like you're just not feeling like yourself. You know what I mean? Like I would hate to go in feeling optimistic and just cheerful and excited about life and then come out just kind of like shell shocked, if that makes sense. And that's kind of the feeling I got from a lot of the folks that I spoke with. Like I enjoyed being there, but ever since I've been out of that event, it's been about a week now, I can't shake this feeling that I experienced something that like they were in this stressful pressure cooker, and it kind of changed them in a way. Like I hope I'm making sense. It was such an incredible experience. Like I am deeply moved by just being in that space with them, and I find it like deeply unsettling. And I know I love watching Squid Game. The new episode comes out today. I believe the finale is today. It's just crazy what people will do to get on that TV show, or any show rather, and try to make it. One guy I spoke to, I believe he said he's got something else in the works. He couldn't say it outright, but he certainly looked like he could be on some sort of dating show on Netflix. So maybe that's what's next for him. But he released a profound statement online just saying, "Thank you to my Squiddies. I will always remember the memories and the moments we had together. Like you changed me. You changed my life for the better. I'll never forget you." So like that is really profound to read, and just to see somebody that maybe thought that was the only option they had, was to go on a reality show to have a chance to win $4.56 million. Statistically, the odds are not in your favor, but if you get down to some of these groups where you're the top 40, top 20, top 10, top 5, it becomes more real. There's a real possibility you could win this. And so I'm just so interested in the after effects of being on a reality show like that, and how people cope and how people try to get back to a sense of self. So I went on a little rant there, but I had to share it because I love the Squid Game. I love watching that show. Anytime I'm traveling, anytime I'm doing anything in the background, if I'm not listening to sports radio, I'm watching the Squid Game, because it's so mindless to me. It's just, I'm watching these people. They're in this room together. There's really not much else for them to be distracted by. They have no cell phones, no form of communication with the outside world at all. It's just people in this huge dorm room, basically. They have to live together, they eat, and they play these games, these childhood kid games together, and they get eliminated one by one. I find it so fascinating. I can't stop watching it. I would love to be a part of it, even though I just said it seems so negative and it would have a profound effect. Like, I'm still intrigued by it, that I would still want to at least go through the steps and try to interview and go through all the things to see if I can get selected. But at this point in my life, I'm approaching 40. I don't know if I can do that with the family, but I am very interested in the show, and that's just something about me that maybe you didn't know previously. I love that game show, and I can't wait to watch it tonight. So thank you for letting me go on a rant there. I am excited that Thanksgiving is coming up soon. I'm excited to go on a little break with my family. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. I hope you stay safe. Hope you enjoy watching all the college football games this week and next week. Hope you spend it with your friends and your family. And I can't wait to talk to you soon. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Peace. And I actually love Thanksgiving. I'm a huge Thanksgiving fan. I'm a day one fan of Thanksgiving. Thank you again for tuning into my Cherry Pickin' podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to subscribe to my show and drop me a rating on Apple Podcasts. All of my digital content can be found at the website CherryPickinSports.com. And if you are looking to interact with me via social media, my Twitter handle is @Cherry_Pickin. That's PICKIN. On my Twitter, you'll also find a link to my blog where I post my weekly college football predictions and analysis. I can also be reached via email at cherrypickinsports@gmail.com. Please feel free to reach out to me regarding what you like about this podcast or about what content you'd like to hear more of on future episodes. I sincerely thank you for your support, and I can't wait to talk to you again soon. Take care.